Remember that initial buzz around generative AI? It felt like, wow, we just unlocked a whole new world.
Yeah, definitely a game changer.
Like AI that could write code, compose music, hold conversations, even draft marketing copy.
Giga Pro, right.
But if we're being honest, some limitations popped up along the way.
Yeah, for sure.
You try getting a straight answer out of an LLM when things get complex, and suddenly you're dealing with hallucinations.
And forget about managing a whole workflow with those early models, just not what they were built for.
So where do we go from there?
It's kind of like this. You wouldn't ask a single employee to handle every single task in a company, right?
Right.
You need specialists, people with their own expertise.
Okay, so instead of one AI trying to do everything,
Yeah,
we're talking about a team of specialized agents.
Precisely. In this Deloitte report, it's called the Cognitive Leap. It really lays out how this new type of AI is going to change how we work.
The cognitive leap. Okay, I like it. So what makes these AI agents tick?
Well, the report has this great analogy. Imagine these agents as like individual employees in a company. Each one a specialist, designed to handle a specific role. They can understand language, plan tasks, even connect to different tools and data to get things done.
So almost like a team of virtual assistants, each with their own superpower.
Exactly. And to make sure these virtual teams run smoothly, the report outlines 5 key principles for designing them.
Okay, lay it on me.
First is this domain-driven approach,
Domain-driven.
meaning each agent is a specialist in a particular area, like marketing or finance.
Makes sense. You wouldn't want your marketing AI crafting financial reports, right?
Or even worse, like posting sensitive data on social media.
Yes.
Exactly. And that leads to the second principle, role-based design.
Okay.
So each agent has a very specific job, avoids redundancy and potential conflicts.
So we've got a clear domain and a specific role within that domain. What's next?
Well, you need to find the right balance.
Right balance. Okay. And
It's like Goldilocks. You don't want too many agents, creates chaos, but too few leads to bottlenecks.
got to find that sweet spot for your company's needs, right?
Now, the next 2 principles are about trust and efficiency in these AI teams.
Okay. Trust and efficiency. Important.
First, control access. Just like you wouldn't give every employee access to all company data.
Right.
Each agent only gets the information and tools they need for their specific job.
That's reassuring. So no rogue AI running wild with sensitive info.
No. Controlled access keeps everything secure and on track.
Okay, good.
And lastly, we have the reflective cycle.
Reflective. Interesting.
This means agents can actually learn from their mistakes and feedback, constantly improving their performance, just like humans do.
No repeating the same error twice. That's a relief. Especially when you consider how much faster AI can process information compared to us.
Exactly. These 5 principles, they're really the foundation for building trustworthy and efficient AI agents.
So that's for individual agents. What happens when you bring them all together?
That's when the real magic happens. It's called a multi-agent system.
Multi-agent system. Okay, so is it like Voltron? Like all these agents combine into one superpowered AI?
I'd say think of it more like a well-coordinated sports team, or even a colony of ants.
Okay, got it.
Each individual might be relatively simple, but together they can achieve incredible things.
So greater than the sum of their parts. I can see the power in that.
By working together, these agents can tackle complex tasks that would overwhelm a single AI, even achieve a deeper semantic understanding.
Semantic understanding.
Meaning they're not just processing words, but grasping the meaning behind them.
Give me an example.
Absolutely. Imagine your AI agent is reading a customer email. It doesn't just see the words complaint and refund. It understands the sentiment and context so it can prioritize correctly.
Wow. It's like having a team of AI experts analyzing every bit of information. Nothing falls through the cracks.
Precisely. And the report uses a really relatable example, traditional IT support.
Oh, don't even get me started on IT support. Just thinking about it gives me anxiety.
Well, with a multi-agent system, the whole process can be streamlined. The report actually has a diagram, or imagine you report a problem. A classification agent identifies the type of issue, then an analysis agent digs into potential solutions.
So we've got a classification agent, an analysis agent. Keep going, I'm hooked.
And then comes the resolution agent.
The resolution agent.
It either fixes the problem automatically, or if it's more complex, it passes it on to a human IT specialist.
Oh, so the human only gets involved if it's absolutely necessary. That's really interesting. That could save so much time and frustration.
Exactly. And that's just one example. Imagine applying this to project management.
Okay, I'm picturing like a new product launch, lots
Yeah.
of moving pieces, deadlines, different teams.
Yeah, exactly. Now imagine having an AI agent dedicated to monitoring each stage of the project. One agent could be tracking the marketing materials, making sure they're all on schedule.
And then another agent could be keeping tabs on the manufacturing timeline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another one could be coordinating with the sales team to make sure everyone's on the same page and ready for the launch.
Wow. So instead of one project manager juggling everything, you've got a whole team of AI agents working in sync.
And because these agents can analyze data and talk to each other in real time, they can actually anticipate problems before they even happen.
So they're not just managing tasks, they're problem solving and keeping things moving.
Exactly. Taking on that cognitive workload, freeing up human project managers to focus on the bigger picture and the creative aspects.
That's a game changer. It's like having an army of super organized assistants. But scaling this up to an entire company, that feels huge. Where do you even begin?
That's where the Deloitte report introduces this reference architecture. It's like a blueprint for building and implementing these multi-agent systems across an organization.
So it's not just about creating these one-off solutions for a specific problem.
Right. It's about building a whole ecosystem that can adapt and grow with the company.
Like a set of Legos.
Yeah.
You'll build anything you can imagine.
You got it. The reference architecture outlines these different layers, each with specific functions. There's the interaction layer, which focuses on how users interact with the system.
So that's like the interface, how we give instructions to the AI agents and get info back.
Then there's the agent layer, where you manage and deploy all those specialized agents we talked about.
Makes sense. And I bet there's a layer for how those agents work together.
You know, that's the workflow layer. It maps out the processes and interactions between agents, make sure everything runs smoothly.
And to round it all off, we need a way to keep an eye on all those agents.
Absolutely. That's the agent operations layer, monitoring, analyzing, and optimizing the performance of the whole system.
So breaking it down into these layers makes adopting AI agents seem a lot less daunting. It's more like plugging in the right pieces to build this powerful system.
That's the idea. It gives organizations a structured way to start building, managing, and scaling these systems.
This is all incredibly exciting. But I'm also thinking there have to be challenges along the way. What kind of hurdles might companies face when they try to implement these systems?
Yeah, you're right. The report points out a few key challenges. First, there's the issue of data AI agents are only as good as the data they're trained on.
So it's not just about having a ton of data. It has to be the right data, organized in a way the AI can use.
Exactly. Then there's the talent gap. Building and managing these systems needs expertise in things like data engineering, machine learning, software development.
Yeah, finding and keeping those people is tough for a lot of companies.
For sure. Now, you mentioned AI agents working behind the scenes, but that doesn't mean we don't need humans involved.
I was just thinking that for all the talk of AI being independent, there has to be a human element, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The report actually calls for a human-in-the-loop approach.
So it's not humans versus machines. It's finding that sweet spot where they work together.
Exactly. And that's when the real magic happens. The report calls it a cognitive leap. And it's not about AI taking over. It's about humans and AI working together to achieve things we never could alone.
So we've talked about the potential of AI agents, the challenges of putting them in place, and the importance of keeping humans in the loop. What's the big takeaway? What should our listeners walk away with?
The big thing is multi-agent AI is changing rapidly. Huge potential to change how we work. But it needs a strategic, thoughtful approach. It's not a just plug it in and it works solution. It's a journey of learning, adapting, and pushing the boundaries.
And like with any journey, having the right map makes all the difference. I think this Deloitte report is a fantastic map. It's packed with insights, practical advice, and questions that make you think. It can really help organizations navigate this new world.
I completely agree. It's a great resource for anyone who wants to dig into the technical details and explore specific use cases.
You know, one thing from the report keeps coming back to me. Don't just automate tasks, reinvent them. That really stuck with me.
Yeah, powerful statement. It gets at what makes this technology so groundbreaking. It's not just doing things faster or better. It's totally rethinking how we work.
It's like instead of asking, how can we automate this? We should be asking, if we started from scratch, knowing what AI agents can do, what would this process look like?
Exactly. And that shift in thinking opens up so many possibilities.
Yeah,
It's like we're not just automating tasks anymore. It's
Yeah, it's like a whole new era of work.
exactly
The report actually has a name for it, I think it was.
cognitive
Yeah,
automation.
cognitive automation.
It's not just mimicking what humans do, it's using AI's strengths.
Right, to create processes that wouldn't even be possible without these agents.
That's the point.
So instead of how can we automate this, it's how can we completely rethink this whole process?
And I think that's the real cognitive leap, yeah.
It changes how we see work. It's not a fixed set of tasks. It's like a system that can constantly change and evolve.
A big change from how we've thought about work in the past.
But so exciting. Think of the potential for innovation.
Solving problems in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
Like we're unlocking this whole new level of human ingenuity.
And AI is our partner, not just a tool.
And like any good partnership, it needs trust, understanding, and a willingness to try new things.
Absolutely. And I think this Deloitte report gives us that. It helps build that trust and understanding.
Yeah, it lays out those principles, the challenges, the opportunities, all in a really clear way.
It's a great resource for anyone trying to figure out this whole AI agent world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the final message you want to leave our listeners with?
Embrace the cognitive leap. Don't be afraid to challenge those old assumptions. Experiment. Reimagine what's possible. The future of work is being shaped right now, and it's up to us to decide what it looks like.
And who knows, maybe by taking that leap, we'll discover new ways of thinking, creating, problem solving.
Maybe that's the real promise of AI agents and multi-agent systems.
Well said. On that note, we'll leave you to explore those possibilities. Be sure to check out the full Deloitte report if you want to dive deeper into all of this. And thanks for joining us on the deep dive